why not go see about your seed, man?
Well, I asked the same question. When I was in prison, they gave me a class called fatherhood. And the instructor, she said, look, this is question and answer time. And my question was to her, look, I got a son and I got a daughter. I never met them. They was all born off a one night stand. I said, should I let them know that I'm their dad? Because of the situations. One of the girls was living with another man, okay? But at the time, I didn't feel like it was best for me to reveal myself because he was taking care of her.
Well, you said you asked someone. What was their recommendation?
Their recommendation said, look, if you want to be a part of your son and your daughter's life, then go ahead and let them know who you are.
Well, why didn't you want to be a part of their life?
Well, it's not that I didn't want it. It's just that their mothers was in situations where I didn't want anybody to get hurt.
Why would somebody get hurt, man?
Well, okay.
I mean, I get it. I get it. Drama with guys and da-da-da-da-da.
Yeah.
I get it. But that's a very poor excuse.
Well, I understand that too. And right now you might call me a deadbeat, but the older I get, the more wiser. And now I've been looking for the mother, come to find out she's in prison. So it's just gotten to the point that, well, we've not been able to hook up.
Do you know the child's name?
My daughter, her name is
What's up, YouTube? Thank you for liking, subscribing, and sharing. Listen, if you want to support the channel financially, hit the super thanks button. Any amount is much appreciated. Now back to the content. What's up, YouTube? Atlanta Street Interviews out here with another one. So we got my man out here today. How you doing today, man?
Much better than I was. Things are looking up.
Okay. Much better than you was. What was going on?
Well, I do have a substance abuse problem, and I've been living on the street, but I got some positive resources that's coming up very soon. And I'm also a veteran, so I'm just waiting to hear from my case worker.
Okay. What substance are we talking about?
Just about alcohol is my drug of choice. And I smoke a little crack and I do a little cocaine. Think about it, I'm living on the street and I have to do what's necessary for me to survive on the street.
Why is it necessary for you to do crack to survive on the street?
Well, right now in this environment, you have to be prepared to do whatever comes your way. And right now, like I say, I'm in survival mode. I'm trying to survive, and the people in my circle, that's what we do. We drink and we drug, and we have fun. But it's not fun once you get out there. And I had an apartment and I lost it because of some bad decisions that I made. And so
when did you have the apartment?
Pardon me, sir?
When did you have the apartment?
I just lost my apartment about 3 days ago.
3 days? Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I was on the street.
Recent.
Yes.
Okay. All right. How old are you?
I am 62 years old.
62?
Yes.
And so you say you've been homeless just for 3 days now?
No, I just got homeless. I was in my apartment. I was in my apartment for 3 months. I was on the street. They got me off the street. The VA, they provided an apartment for me. Unfortunately, because of some bad decisions I made, I lost my apartment and I ended back on the street.
What were the bad decisions?
The bad decisions, I allowed some people to move into my house, and they didn't care much about me. So
hold on, real quick.
And vigorous, honest.
All right, man. So I'm sorry about that, but we got interrupted real quickly.
Yes,
and so you were saying that you had let some friends come into your apartment.
Yes.
Why?
Well, they needed somewhere to stay, but I didn't know they was gonna move in. They came in, and once they got,
were they crack smokers?
No, they were crack dealers. But
so is that why you let them stay there?
No, I didn't know it was gonna turn out. It started out good in the beginning. However,
because you was getting free crack.
Yeah, and they turned my apartment into a crack trap.
Well, what did you think was gonna happen?
I didn't think that was gonna happen. I thought he had a few friends, but man, there was people coming in there, men and women, night and day. And management, they found out about it, and they decided that the best thing for me to do was just leave.
Okay. All right. Let's start. Okay. You have any kids?
I do have a kid. I got a son, 34. I got a daughter, 24.
Okay. Same mom or different moms?
Different moms.
Okay. Were you ever married?
Never been married.
Never been married. Okay. So let's start from the beginning, man. Where are you from?
I'm from Albany, Georgia.
Man, shout out Albany, Georgia, man. Shout out Albany, man.
Dirty County.
Hey, man, definitely love all the towns in Georgia, but Albany is definitely one of my favorites, man.
Yes.
Shout out to what's my boys, the rap group from there, man.
We'll see. I'm old school, and but I heard of them. I know about them. They was on TV.
Smoke and All right, man. So I literally had to look it up. Field Mob. I don't know why I couldn't remember that.
I heard of Field Mob. I've seen them on TV. I seen the videos.
Shout out to Albany, man. Yeah. Shout out to Albany. All right. And so growing up in Albany, did you have both your mom and your dad in the household?
Well, my mom, she was a single parent, and she raised 6 of us. I got 3 sisters and 2 brothers.
How many different dads?
We have the same dad. Fortunately enough, that's one thing that my mama did right. My mama didn't smoke. She didn't drink. I never.
So wait, why? So I mean, were they in a relationship?
Well, no, my dad, he died. He died when I was 2 years old.
2 years old?
He got killed in an accident. But all of us have the same dad.
Okay, okay. All right, and so growing up, would you say you had a fairly normal childhood?
I had a normal childhood. And the things I'm going on, if you'd have told me when I was in high school that I was going to go through this, I wouldn't have believed you.
Oh, that's right. And so you did go to high school. Did you graduate?
I did graduate. I played football. I got a scholarship for Georgia Tech. I got a scholarship for Morris Brown. I got a scholarship for Fort Valley. I got a scholarship for Albany State Rams.
Man, shout out all those schools,
running back,
man. Especially Fort Valley, man. My brother went to Fort Valley.
Okay.
Fort Valley. Woo!
In the house.
All right, man. And so, okay. Which you got scholarships those schools? Did you go to any of them?
I didn't go. I got my leg injured when I was in 11th grade, so I decided that the best thing for me to do was just go to the military. So at that point, once I graduated high school, I went into the military.
Okay. And so how long did we do in the military?
I did 4 years in the military, United States Navy. I'm a fleet sailor. Go Navy.
Hey, man, shout out to the Navy, man.
Yeah.
All right, and so, okay, so, and we did 4 years. So then we came out. What was life like at that point?
At that point, when I came out of the military, I came out an alcoholic because at that time I was 21 years old and I did everything I was big and old enough to do, and most of the time all we did was drink. That's what we did. We drank, and I went to a couple places overseas like Singapore where I got hooked up with heroin and some other drugs, and after that I came home and my boys was already into it. The guys I went to school with, they was already into it. They was into it heavy. But I didn't find out about it until I went to the military. When I came out of the military, I was
So you was on heroin and you was an alcoholic?
An alcoholic.
You know, the alcoholic part, I'll say this, you're the 3rd or 4th veteran that we've had on this channel that's had almost that same exact story.
Yes.
So that seems to be a pattern.
It is a pattern.
Okay. All right. And so I mean, I guess at that point, we was just kind of alcoholic and, you know what I'm saying, doing the drugs when we got back, right?
Just floating around, that's all. Doing everything I was big enough and old enough to do.
And you're 62, right?
I'm 62 now.
Okay. So that means that you had your first kid around 28?
I had my first kid around, right about 28, my son.
Okay. And, were you in a relationship then?
No, actually it was just a woman I was dating, and we ended up having a one-night stand, and that's how he came. That's how he got here, a one-night stand. I was dating her, but we never did anything. So one night, a mutual friend of ours, he brought his girlfriend and my son's mother to my house, and we got busy, man. That's about it.
And that was the only time y'all had sex?
That's the only time we had sex.
Oh, okay. Well, hey, man, I ain't mad at that. Okay, all right. So, I mean, were you stable at that point in life? Were you, or were you kind of still kind of low wage on the drugs and stuff?
I was unstable and I was on drugs. Like I say, I was doing everything I was big enough to do.
Who was you living with at that point?
Oh, I was living alone. I had an apartment in Albany.
Okay.
Yeah, and like I say, we got together, and he came up.
What about the other child that you have? How was that a relationship?
No, that wasn't a relationship either. However, her mom and I, we got together in Albany, and she was born off of a one-night stand. Me and her mother and I, and we were friends. We worked together. And one night we got together, and next thing I know, she papa.
All right, and so both of these kids were in Albany?
With Albany. No, one was in Cardile. One was in Fitzgerald. The other was in Cardile. And Albany. The mother was from Cardile. The daughter was from Albany.
And so did you raise them?
I didn't raise them. I did not raise them, and I'll be honest with you, I never even met them. However, I went to prison, and when I got to prison, they sent me a child support letter. And the officer said, if this is you, then go ahead and answer. But if it ain't you, send it back. So me, I'm 21 years old. No, at the time I was 23. So I sent it back.
You wasn't 23, man, because you didn't have your first kids. You was 28.
Well, the thing about it is that when I got in the military, there were some years that elapsed. And when I went to prison, I was 28 years old. And that's when I found out that I had my first child. When I went to prison.
You said your child's 34, right?
Yeah, well, see, all the mathematics, that's one thing I didn't do. I should have done my math, I didn't. But as far as the dates, he is my son. And the name.
You say you've never met him?
I never met him. And I'm afraid one day I'm gonna have a knock at the door and he's gonna say, hey, you're my dad. That's my most frightening a scenario that I think.
Well, okay, but hold on. Let's draw down a little bit, okay? So first of all, why'd you go to prison?
I went to prison because I sold some dope to an undercover agent.
Okay, selling dope, undercover agent. How long did you go to prison for?
I went to prison for 5 years to the door.
Okay, so clearly you're kind of confused about what age you went to prison.
Well, the thing about it is that there's some years that lapsed. I'm trying to make a long story short.
Don't make a long story short. Just tell us the long story. Well, because here's the thing: numbers don't lie, right?
Right.
So I'm a numbers guy, and so at the end of the day, you said that you're 62.
Yeah.
You said your son's 34.
Right.
That means that he was born when you was 28. That's 34 years in between. Okay.
Okay.
So, what age did you go to prison?
When I went to prison, I was 28. That's the thing about it. I got out of prison and found out I had a son.
Okay, so you went to prison the same year that you created the son? Y'all had sex and then you went to prison shortly thereafter?
Well, we had sex when I was 26 years old, but I stayed in prison. Once I got out of prison, that's when I found out I had a son. Okay.
And so why didn't you ever go meet him?
I never looked back. She was not from Albany. She was from Cardile. My son's mother was from Cardile, Georgia.
Okay.
My daughter's mother was from Albany, Georgia.
Okay.
And I was living in Albany at the time.
You said you never met either one of them, though.
I have never met them.
So then why didn't you meet the daughter? She was in the same town that you was in.
Well, the day she was born, her mother got in touch with me and said, look, you got a daughter, come see her. So I did go and I saw her. But she was a babe at the time.
Right, I get that. But why didn't you be in her life as her father?
Because I was living in a different city at the time. And
you said you was in Albany.
When she was born, I was in Albany.
Okay.
After that, I went to prison and I moved around.
Why not go see about your seed, man?
Well, I asked the same question. When I was in prison, they gave me a class called fatherhood, and the instructor, she said, look, this is question and answer time. And my question was to her, look, I got a son and I got a daughter. I never met them. They was all born off a one-night stand. I said, should I let them know that I'm their dad? Because of the situations. One of the girls was living with another man, okay? But at the time, I didn't feel like it was best for me to reveal myself because he was taking care of her.
Well, you said you asked someone. What was their recommendation?
Their recommendation said, look, if you want to be a part of your son and your daughter's life, then go ahead and let them know who you are.
Well, why didn't you want to be a part of their life?
Well, it's not that I didn't want it. It's just that their mothers was in situations where I didn't want anybody to get hurt.
Why would somebody get hurt, man?
Well, okay.
I mean, I get it. I get it. Drama with guys and da-da-da-da-da.
Yeah.
I get it. But that's a very poor excuse.
Well, I understand that too. And right now you might call me a deadbeat, but the older I get, the more wiser. And now I've been looking for the mother, come to find out she's in prison. So it's just gotten to the point that, we've not been able to hook up.
Do you know the child's name?
My daughter, her name is Vivian. And her mother's name is Williams. And like I said, she was living with another man. And so that's kind of hard for me to talk about.
Well, what about your son?
My son, his mother, her name is Ernestine.
Okay, hold on real quick. All right, man, so quick interruption, man, but
Yeah.
I mean, if you could give, what's your son's name, by the way?
His name is Bobby.
You know his last name?
I'll be honest with you. I believe it's Johnson because
What's your name, man?
because of the situation that I hate to give out names and call names. I understand this is UJ.
I get it, man, but I mean, what if they've been looking for you, man?
They've not been looking for me. Their mother has, but
How do you know they haven't been looking for you? You haven't talked to them.
I know, but they know about me. I'm sure they do know me. Especially
And so, do you think that if you never met your dad as a man, do you think you would or would not have an interest in meeting him?
I think I would.
So then, what do you? Come on, man. What are you talking about?
I'm talking about, like I say, I'm thinking one day I'm gonna have a knock at the door, and
One day you might not be here. One day they might not be
they
here.
may not be here, and that's my deepest.
So
fear.
today, what's your name?
My name is Bernard Swift.
I mean, it seems like you have a hesitation and a fear.
Yes, exactly.
And I understand why. It's because you know that you effed up. You know,
I did.
You didn't do what you needed to have done as a man.
Right.
But you're gonna have to look that in the face.
I will someday, and I will.
Well, because here's the thing, you owe it to them.
I owe it to them. Yeah. I went back.
So it's not about how you feel anymore. It never was about how you feel, to be honest with you. Once you have kids, how you feel is only a small part of the calculation.
I understand that.
And what's in the best interest of the kids should take over and be the main motivation.
Yes.
And that's not what you did. And so I get it. I get that you feel a certain way about it.
Yes.
But you're going to have to correct that today, man.
I am.
And not tomorrow.
All right. I went back looking for my daughter, and I talked to some people that knew her mother, and I believe I talked to her grandmother, and I believe she knew who I was. But like I said, it wasn't a relationship. It was because of
You talked to her grandmother, and she knew who
she
you
knew
was?
who I was. Yes, I met her grandmother once, and
I get it, man. But what about her, man? I'm gonna tell you.
I'm
gonna tell you. I'm a girl dad, right? So I've got two girls.
Okay.
And I can only imagine, man. I used to go to daddy-daughter breakfasts and things like that. And I would always see the little girls whose dads weren't there for one reason or another. And it would completely break my heart, man.
I understand.
And it's basically, man, it's situations like this.
Yeah.
It's situations like this, man, and it's just not fair to the kids.
I understand that. But however, like I say, I've been trying to straighten it out. The older I get, the more serious I get about it. Right now.
Well, I'm gonna challenge you on that, because when I was just saying, hey, you know, when are you gonna make this happen? You say, oh, maybe later when the time is right, tomorrow, but not right now. And this is who I am, and I want to find you. Okay, let me do this. Okay, let me do this.
Okay, go ahead.
So, if you could look them in the eyes, look them dead in the camera, and tell them what's on your heart. How you feel about the fact that you wasn't there, and what you're willing to do about it.
I'm glad you asked that question. First of all, when they were born, both of them, the mothers did not let me know, but they couldn't because I was in prison. When I get out of prison, I found out I have a son and a daughter, okay? And over the years, I tried to make it right. I'm still trying to make it right. But
What did you do to try to make it right?
I went looking for my daughter, like I say, and I met her grandmother, and she knew who I was, and I asked some questions. I found out her mother was in prison. Now my son, I'm still looking for him, but I got some information from some guys that were from Cardell, Georgia, where my son's mother was from, and they told me, say yes, she did have a child. and that's all they know. That's all they go on. However, someday I like to go to car deal and look them up because they say, yes, there is a son. The person who's standing in my position to be their dad, I think they think that that is their biological dad. I don't want to interfere with that.
Okay, so that's what you're saying. So, all right, man. I mean, all right. So real quick, man. Yeah, let's go back to your earlier story.
All right.
So you've been to prison several times, man.
Yeah.
You couldn't have been as green to not think that those dope boys is gonna take over your apartment. I mean, that's just how it goes. How did you not know that? Or were you just honestly comfortable with getting the free dope, and so that was...
I was comfortable with getting the free dope. And the woman that hooked me up, she was my girlfriend. And things got real bad right at the end.
Wait. Your girlfriend hooked you up with the dope boys?
Yeah, she moved him in. She said it was her nephew.
All right, man. So you were saying that she had moved those guys in, and what happened?
And they took over. Man, these guys were strapped. They were strapped, man.
But what'd you think was gonna happen, man?
I didn't know that was gonna happen. And like I say, I'm new to Atlanta. I just moved here. I don't know anything about Atlanta. And the first.
So this was your first time in like the city for real?
Yeah, the first time in the city.
Okay,
yeah.
so you I mean, they saw you as like a country dude basically, and they kind of took advantage.
They took advantage because in the beginning, man, they took care of me. They still take care of me. They give me what I want, but the deal that we made, it was for cash. It wasn't for drugs, and they did the best they could, and they still take care of me. However, when the management found out that they was there and they were strapped, management got afraid because the neighbors start to complain.
Yeah, of course, man, of course. All right, man. Well, I get it, man. Well, hey, listen, man. That was a lot, man. We really appreciate you.
Yeah.
Oh, well, what are we doing at this point to try to get ourselves out of this position of homelessness?
Right now,
I think you said you had some stuff going on with the VA and stuff like that?
I'm a veteran, and I got robbed. They took my wallet, they took everything. So the reason I'm here is because I cannot work because they took my veteran card. They took my...
They took everything, all your credentials.
Everything.
I get it.
Not my nephews, somebody on the street. And it got to the point to where I couldn't go to work like I needed to, and that's why I ended up here.
Okay.
But today, I've been out. I'm trying to get my driver's license back. Once I get my driver's license back, I can go back to work.
All right. And so getting back to work, that's gonna get us off the street, or?
Yes, it's gonna get off the street.
Okay, man. All right.
You know, like I say, this.
All right, man. Well, like I say, man, we really appreciate you taking the time, answering all of our questions.
Thank you.
If anybody out there wanted to reach out, help, or donate, do you have a way they could do that? Do you have social media, Cash App, anything like that?
Well, this is your deal, your YouTube channel. If there's anything out there like that, then I would like for them to get in touch with you. And then you can get in touch with me. Because you know, you and I, we run into one another.
Yeah,
I don't even know
absolutely.
your name, man.
Hey, man, Marcus, man.
Marcus, and you always be so kind to me and so polite. I thank you, brother. Marcus.
Absolutely, man, absolutely.
Sure.
All right, man, I'll throw it up there. I do have a Cash App now for this channel, so yeah. I'll put it up there, man.
Well,
all right.
I got a phone coming, and then we will be able to keep in touch.
Awesome, man. All right, man. Well, you make sure you have a good one. All right, my man.
All right, thank you, Marcus.
Yes, sir.
God bless. My name is